Well, good evening and welcome to our annual meeting. On behalf of our staff, board, and families of the YMCA of Montclair, thank you for being here tonight. Before we dive into a great presentation we have put together for you this evening, I want to invite each of you to please join me in a moment of silence as we reflect on the tragic, needless deaths that have happened around our country this last week. We think of those, our friends and our brothers and sisters grieving in Buffalo, in Los Angeles, and in Uvalde, Texas. Please join me. Thank you. We had planned for our Chief Volunteer Officer, Izumi Hara, to be here to welcome you tonight. But unfortunately, she tested positive for COVID this morning. She has mild symptoms and she's doing well. And as a matter of fact, I looked to the camera there. She is joining us this evening on a live stream. At this time, I would like to share a video with you that those of you who know Izumi, she wasted no time. She spoke to me at 7 o'clock this morning and told me the news that she had tested positive, and by 8 o'clock she was doing her video to greet all of you. So I'm going to share with you now a video from Izumi Hara. Thank you.
Good evening, and welcome to the 2022 annual meeting of the YMCA of Montclair. My name is Izumi Hara, and I've had the honor and privilege of serving as the chair of your board of directors for the last 3 years. It turns out that the very thing that has upended us for the last 2 years is the thing that's keeping me from being with you this evening. As Buddy has mentioned, I tested positive for COVID this morning. Thank you for joining us to hear about what has been happening at the Y. We want you to know how much we appreciate how you love and support our community through the Y. We thank you for your support of the Y's mission and vision, a Y that allows individuals, families, and the community to grow better and stronger by developing spirit, mind, and body, and making sure that these opportunities are available to all of our neighbors. A little later on, you will see a short video of 2021 highlights, a year that by fall had started to feel like the before times, but by December, with the emergence of the Omicron variant, reminded us that we are living in a new normal and that nothing feels very normal about it. That will be followed by a presentation by Buddy of the exciting things that are happening at the Y. When I became chair of the board in 2019, the Y was coming off one of its best years ever and was projecting 2020 to be a breakout year of significant revenue and programming growth, technological improvement, and time to repair some of our aging infrastructure at Camp at the Lake and Park Street. Instead, we had our first member case of COVID-19 on March 12th, and on March 13th, we closed our doors to protect member and staff safety. Our revenue stream, which is program and membership based, slowed to a bare trickle. Our hearts broke as we furloughed over 95% of our staff in April of 2020. But we also recognized that the Y had a great deal of work to do, and that even though we were not open for fitness or providing childcare in the schools or swim classes, there were dire needs in the community and that the Y was in a position to address them. Even in the worst of times, in the midst of a pandemic, and in the face of social and political upheaval, the Y maintained its focus on our mission, as different as it may have looked in 2020. 2 years later, we are back. Our doors are open. We are expanding our early learning center for our youngest members, and camp registrations for summer 2022 are at capacity with waiting lists. We have launched a capital campaign to reimagine Camp at the Lake, bringing it up to date and providing the Y with opportunities to provide year-round programming in a beautiful, natural setting. Although we're happy to be back and feel that being at 70% of where we were in 2019 is an accomplishment in light of the circumstances, we know that we have so much to do, and we want you to know that while we've been working hard to recover from the effects of the pandemic, we have also been thinking and planning and setting goals to advance our strategic plan. Broadly, our goals are to improve your experience as a member, deepen our engagement with our communities, and grow the reach of the Y. So you can expect to see improvements in our technological interfaces, improvements in our physical spaces, including work toward reimagining of the Park Street facility. The Y forming more collaborations and partnership with community organizations to accomplish our common goals. More programming outside of the walls of the Y, more youth programming, and much more. I'd like to give a shout out to Montclair State University's Center for Research and Evaluation, which is helping us to create metrics by which we can measure our success. I want to take a moment to recognize our incredible staff. None of the amazing work of the Y in addressing community needs during the last 2 years would have been possible without them. Our most responsive programs were completely new, things we had not done before. All of these programs took a huge amount of learning, planning, establishment of procedures, training of staff, and even some construction. The reason it was possible was because of the incredible hard work, initiative, creativity, and dedication of the Y staff. I'd like to turn for a moment to our wonderful board. 23 passionate, dedicated, deeply committed volunteers help to guide the direction of our Y. We are so lucky to have not only their enthusiasm, but their professional expertise, perspective, and guidance. Finally, I want to thank each and every one of our donors. Whether you give $20 or $1 million, we would not be here without your support. To those of you who continued to pay your membership dues while the Y was closed, thank you. For each of you who gave to the annual campaign, which allows us to make our programming accessible to all of our neighbors regardless of ability to pay, thank you. For those who have given to the Camp at the Lake campaign, thank you. And for those of you who haven't yet, it's not too late. And to our elected leaders in Congress and the State House, who fought for nonprofits like ours to obtain pandemic relief funds and support our childcare workers, thank you for ensuring our survival. As my 9 years on the board and 3 years as chair draws to a close, I'm so very grateful to all of you for making my involvement with the YMCA of Montclair one of the great joys of my life. Thank you. Most of you know that my first connection with this Y was through the aquatic programs, from bubble babies to guppies, minnows, and barracuda to the dolphin swim team and the Y National Championships. My kids did it all. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce the Y's Association Aquatics Director, Tammy Como. Tammy came to us in 2019 to oversee all aquatics programming in all of our facilities. Before she came to us, Tammy spent 30 years teaching and managing in the aquatics space. Most recently, she worked as District Aquatics Director at the YMCA of Southampton Roads in Chesapeake, Virginia, and as the Senior Program Director of the Wilkes-Barre Family YMCA in Pennsylvania. Tammy has done a marvelous job so far and is here to tell you what is happening in the Y's Aquatics Department. Tammy?
Thanks, Izumi. Thank you, Izumi. I'm glad that you're not feeling too bad, and I hope you have a quick recovery. So welcome and thank you for coming this evening. It is my pleasure to speak with you tonight about the Aquatics Department. I would like to introduce to you our staff members. I have Anna Smith. Come on up, Anna. Anna is the Aquatics Director at Park Street. Alex Butov is going to stand. You can stay, Alex. You're good. So Alex is our Director of Competitive Swimming. And then we have Roman Sludinov, and he is our head age group swim coach. So drowning is a major public health issue and can be prevented. We were one of the first Ys in New Jersey to resume group swimming lessons after our shutdown in 2020. Group lessons for all ages resumed at Park Street in January of 2021 and at Geyer in March of 2021. Teaching swimming is an important life skill and is a primary mission of the Ys around the U.S., as drowning is the second leading cause of unintentional injury-related deaths for children ages 1 to 14. That's approximately 1,500 deaths each year in that age group. 3,960 people die from drowning in the U.S. each year, which is an average of 11 per day. 80% of those deaths are male due to their high-risk taking behavior. Anybody vouch for that? I don't know. All right. So we have our annual Safety Around Water program, and we call it SAW. We offer this program annually, and in 2021, we added a 30-minute safety session to all the participants' parents, as it is important to not only teach the children how to be safe in, on, and around the water, it is also important to educate the parents on how to keep their children safe when around water. This program has a unique benchmark, and the skills that are the focus of the program in which the children learn skills to help them if they fall into a pool or if the children are swimming and get tired. These skills are called jump, push, turn, and grab, and swim, float, swim. We are especially grateful to the Stu Leonard Foundation, who sponsored 50 children in 2021 to participate in this program. You're never too young or old to learn how to swim. As soon as an infant is able to support their head at 6 months, they can begin water exploration classes, which is also known as our parent-child program. It is offered at both Park Street and Geyer. We currently offer swim lessons for all ages, starting at 6 months, and private lessons that begin at age 3. I'm going to let Anna talk to you about the next couple of slides.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about our parent and child preschool, youth, adult, our early learning center and camp swim lessons, our dolphin swim team, our lifeguard certifications, our adult water fitness classes, family swims, and our grants. The WISE pools are always busy. We have members swimming laps, seniors socializing during their water fitness classes. Swim team is practicing all of our 3 pools. We have certification classes taking place on weeknights and evenings. We have private and group swim lessons occurring at various times throughout the week. And during the summer months, the pools are bustling with campers. Aside from all of our program offerings, we also support our local schools. We've been a training site for Bloomfield High School swim team for close to a decade. And when Seton Hall Prep's high school swim team lost their pool for 2021, we were able to fit them in our schedule and provide them a place to practice. And in the fall of 2021, we also had Verona High School join us to practice when their facility was unavailable. We support our neighboring daycare centers and preschools too. Park Street Academy, which is located right across from RY on Park Street, brings their summer campers to us every year from July to August for swim lessons. For 2021, we had 2,626 parent-child and preschool swim lessons, 237 teen and adult enrolled in our swim lessons. Parents were flocking for our private lessons for their children due to their apprehension in attending group lessons. Private lesson packages are sold in groups of 3 or 6, and in 2021, we sold 516 sets of private lessons. By the end of 2021, programming and participant numbers were mirroring those that we had at the end of 2019, a sign that we're back on the right track and parents were confident to return to group swim lessons. We started, private lessons was the first program we brought back in 2020, in September of 2020, and it just grew and grew. And, you know, chlorine is our friend in this lovely COVID pandemic, so that's why we're thriving. Campers, okay. So 10,960 camper swim lessons. That's the number of campers that had a swim lesson last summer. Approximately 570 campers from our 3 camps splash weekly at Park Street, Geyer, and in the lake in West Milford. We usually have a 10-week, depending on our camp, it's a 10-week season. Camp provides us the opportunity to also reach another population of youth in our communities who don't attend swim lessons during the school year. So it's another way to get people in to learn a very important life skill.
Really are pleased that we're able to assist the family and being able to keep their journey of swimming going. So thank you again for coming here today. As we move on, we're going to talk a little bit about our swim team. Our swim team program follows the national-wise motto, everybody swims, everybody wins. In 2020, Buddy's mentioned several times that swim team was the first program that our Y brought back. And it was a tough first year, 2020, 2021. We didn't have swim meets. They were all virtual. And as we progressed on further for our 2021, 2022 season, we began to have swim meets, but no spectators. And you know, we had to limit the number of swimmers who could go to each meet. We're still progressing, and our team is getting stronger. And for 2021-22 season, we have a few highlights to share. Our youngest team members are part of our 8 and under group, and they are mighty and the future of our team. We created a new group this season called the Mini Dolphins. And the reason why we had so many 10 and unders and 8 and unders decide that they'd like to join the team was because it was an Olympic year. So we created some new groups and made our groups larger in order to service those swimmers. So we look at our swim team and the bright future that they have ahead of them going into our 2022-2023 season. The Y is not only America's swim lesson instructor, but we are also one of America's trusted training organizations. In an effort to keep the Y's pools and pools in our communities open with highly trained staff, we offer American Red Cross lifeguard certifications throughout the year. We certify our own staff in the National Swim Lesson Instructor Program. And to further the YMCA's mission to be accessible to all, we were awarded a grant to offer swim lessons to 50 individuals with disabilities in 2021. That grant also provided funding for formal diverse abilities certifications for our swim instructors. We had 5 staff take the diverse abilities instructor course, and I'm very pleased to introduce to you Anaya Newton, one of those instructors. Anaya?
Hello. I'm a little short. Need to bring it down to my height. Good evening, everybody. So, I have been a lifeguard for, I want to say, 4.5 years now. I came to the YMCA in October of 2019, starting as a lifeguard. It was quite a different structure from what I was used to. I was used to basically being my own boss at my own little tiny pool with a CEO who was miles away and just a phone call, but they had millions of other pools that they needed to take care of, it felt like. Coming to the YMCA, it was very different, but in an extremely positive way. I had coworkers for the first time ever. I had never had coworkers until I came here. I started at the East Orange YMCA. There's where I began my interest in teaching swim lessons. I saw a lot of kids coming in for camp that didn't know how to swim. They couldn't really do much but stay in one side or hold the wall, and I'd feel bad. And at one point, I decided that I would kind of try to help them and teach them little things on the side to help them experience things and get comfortable in the water. When I came to the YMCA, I realized that I could actually teach people how to swim by getting certified to teach swim lessons. I got certified to teach swim lessons in January of 2020. And since then, I have taught every age from 6 months to 75. And yes, that is my oldest student, and Bill is my favorite student, my absolute favorite. But also with teaching swim lessons, I saw a lot of kids that needed a lot more attention. Kids that needed a certain kind of guidance, a certain type of learning. A lot of kids learn differently. I mean, I think we all know that some people are visual learners and some people like to write things or read things or watch videos on them. And that is why I felt it extremely necessary when the opportunity came about to get diverse abilities certified. I was one of these 5 people that did get diverse abilities certified, and I can tell you that it has helped me in tremendous ways with hundreds of kids. I lost my place. After spending over a year doing regular swim classes, teaching, once again, adults, children's, parent-child, all of the above, I took a step back when I was given the opportunity to become LGI certified, which is becoming a lifeguard instructor, which was surprisingly something I had never thought of, but something I am extremely happy that I was able to do. I was able to teach other people how to save lives, which is extremely important. I don't think we have enough lifeguards that really are truly attentive. And I'm very happy that I actually was able to teach my very first lifeguard class about 1 week ago. And I certified, I want to say, 10 lifeguards, which was an amazing thing. And I look forward to keep doing that, hopefully. but I want to say I am unbelievably grateful for the opportunities that the Y has given me to move up in amazing positions and being able to teach people in all types of places. I've been at Geyer and at Park Street, and I've been able to meet amazing people, not only through swim lessons, but just being a lifeguard. You meet so many people, you help so many people, giving them general safety tips and just general information about the pool. I've met a lot of different people that have even helped me outside of the Y, and I've met people that have expanded my photography career, and I've met people who expanded my modeling career. It's been an amazing time, and I've met amazing people, and I cannot wait to continue my journey at the YMCA of Montclair.
All I can say is, wow. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, the Barrett family, of course, and Anaya, thank you. And you can teach anytime you want here. We are so appreciative of you, and I'm so impressed with your leadership, so thank you. This annual meeting, as Azumi mentions, is a time for us to reflect on the past year. It's also a time for us to provide an update, what's currently happening at our Y. But before I do that, I want to share a short little video that our team put together that's really going to show you some of the highlights of the important moments that our YMCA went through in 2021. So I hope you enjoy it. Bobby Constable officially kicked off this campaign with a leadership legacy gift of $300,000. video brings me back, and it seems like a whirlwind. But it also makes me appreciate things a lot more. And it certainly makes me appreciate how great it is to have people in person again and seeing everybody. But I certainly don't want to forget those who are joining us online, and I appreciate them joining us tonight too. The past 2 years have been incredibly challenging for our Y and our community. However, we have so many reasons to be positive and optimistic about the future. We're thankful, as Izumi mentioned, to our members who stayed with us, including those who chose to keep their membership fees active to support our Y when we were closed and before they were ready to return. We are so appreciative for our staff that delivered on our mission. We are grateful to all of our donors that supported us through this trying time. And I got to tell you, we are so fortunate to have such an amazing group of dedicated board members. Many of them are in the audience tonight. Our Y is in a great place today, and it's because of all of you. Coming out of the pandemic, we have been really looking critically at our strategic plan to ensure that we prioritize the most pressing needs in our community. Our focus around healthy living, social responsibility, and youth development does not change. But we know that we need to rebuild. We need to rebuild our operations. Considering what we've learned the past 2 years, we also realize that in some of the areas, they're not going to look the same. I think Tammy and her team did an excellent job highlighting how our Y has become a leader in aquatic programming. We will continue to put resources toward our drowning prevention strategies to make certain that all children and adults are safe around water. We are also committed to being more strategic and intentional with our outreach efforts, in particular in the towns of Bloomfield, Clifton, and West Milford. As our economy continues to recover and folks return to work, we know that families will need quality childcare for their youngsters. We have repurposed this Helen and Bill Geyer YMCA to provide infant and preschool programming for children 3 months of age to 5 years. This is in addition to the wraparound services we offer through our school-age child care programs and summer camp. Again, we will continue to focus on expanding these services to include more children in our 9-town service area. One thing COVID taught us is that living a healthy lifestyle is important. Eating well and exercising regularly can decrease your chances of being admitted into the hospital, and it certainly can improve your mental health. Our Y will continue to increase our wellness programs, not only inside our 4 walls and in our facilities, but out in the open air, as well as virtually through our new national Y360 online platform. We will rebuild our membership and engage more members and individuals by improving our technology, being more innovative, and meeting people where they are in their health journey. To rebuild anything, we know everything starts with our YMCA staff. We are committed to recruiting, retaining, and developing passionate, cause-driven leaders that are here because they believe in our mission, the mission of helping others. Our executive leaders, with the support of our board of directors, has allocated resources necessary to invest in our team and provide them the tools they need to do their job and do their job well. We will make decisions through a DEI lens, knowing that our strength lies within the diversity of our team, and equity will only come when we intentionally look for ways to become more inclusive. Our team will reflect the communities we serve, and we will become an employer of choice by appreciating, developing, empowering, motivating, recognizing, and supporting our team. We want our employees to feel a sense of pride when they put on that YMCA of Montclair name tag, knowing that they work for an organization that puts people first. At the Y, we know that to expand our services and advance our mission, we need help of other key partners in the community. Whether working with the boards of education to provide care for school-aged children, or working with local health agencies to address chronic disease prevention, or the growing number of mental health issues, We know that we are stronger together, and we are so thankful for the part of being part of this great community that is willing to collaborate for the betterment of our citizens. I want to thank all of our partners in the community, and especially those that are listed on this slide. As many of you have heard and many of you have seen, we have exciting plans on the horizon for our property in West Milford. Reimagining Camp at the Lake. This is our watershed moment. Plans are already underway to turn our 10-week summer camp facility into a year-round program center, which is going to feature the Constable Family Lodge, the Harakashik Family Amphitheater, the Turgeon Family Junior Pavilion, and the Fetty Family Environmental Center. That's just to name a few. We have raised just under $1.1 million on our $1.5 million capital campaign, and we anticipate exceeding our goal by the end of this year. Again, as Izumi said, I want to thank all of you that have already supported this effort. And if you're interested in finding out more about this exciting project, please let myself or Veronica know. Once completed, RY will have one of the most family-friendly program and camping venues around. As Izumi mentioned earlier, and as many of you probably already know, tonight does signify a changing of the guard, so to say, at RY. For the past 9 years, Izumi Hara has served on our board of directors. She has led RY through a CEO transition. She has initiated our strategic planning process. She has recruited many of our board members that are sitting in the room tonight, and she's held many numerous leadership positions, including being the chair for the past 3 years, which is not a normal term, but she kept it because she knew we were going through a pandemic, and she felt like we needed stability at the helm, and we did. I know she's not here tonight, but if she is online, Izumi, I'd like to thank you for all of your support, leadership, and guidance that you gave our board, RY, and me personally. Izumi has positioned RY as a recognized leader in this community, and we are so grateful for her. I also want to thank you for providing us an amazing succession plan. Izumi has big shoes to fill, but I think everyone who knows this, I know for a fact that if anyone can build on that legacy, it's Marjorie. Tonight may be a transition, but I invite all of you to join me for the real celebration of Izumi's YMCA legacy. On October 14th, we will bring back our in-person gala. The 1891 gala will be hosted at the Grove in Cedar Grove. And along with celebrating Izumi and honoring Izumi, we will be recognizing Rayos Homemade as our community partner. All proceeds from this year's gala will benefit our Camp at the Lake campaign and the children, families, and seniors who we will serve on this beautiful campus. This concludes my remarks, but at this time I would like to call on my right hand. It is now my pleasure to introduce someone who celebrated her 25th year in the YMCA movement this year. She started in New York, she went up to Boston, but her best years are here in Montclair, and the best years are here to come. I told her she's halfway done her career. She's got 25 left. Our Chief Operating Officer, who will now present our incredible award, Amarca Gutierrez.
Thank you, buddy. Keep dreaming. I don't have 25 more years. Nope, it's not gonna happen. Good evening, everyone. This is the part of my job that I love to do, which is really acknowledge the hard work of individuals, of staff that work with us. It is my pleasure tonight to announce this year's Dawn McFadden Leadership Award. But before I do that, I would like to acknowledge Dawn McFadden, for whom this award has been named after. Dawn retired from the Y in 2019 after serving 40 years within the Montclair community. And this award is given in her name to a staff member who shares Dawn's dedication to our Y. Dawn unfortunately could not be here tonight, but she is with us in spirit, and we send you love, Dawn. The recipient of the Dawn McFadden Leadership Award must demonstrate the following: a positive relationship with members and staff at all times, amplifies YMCA values, shows dedication, possess leadership qualities, inspire others, takes pride in the YMCA, and goes above and beyond their scope of work through their action and words. Their performance positively impacts the community we serve, and their contribution is consistently aligned with our mission, advancements of the cause. Now, this evening's award honors an employee for their work in 2021, which amplifies service, leadership, devotion to our mission, and significant achievement in advancing the YMCA of Montclair. This year's recipient is known to her team as Mama Bear. She gives her time selflessly, encourages and supports her team, and always goes the extra mile to make sure that everyone feels included. And we saw that earlier today. She puts her whole heart and soul into her community, her program, and her staff. I have seen firsthand this nominee put in countless hours to ensure that everyone gets into a swim class, even if that means adding a new class and getting into the water herself to teach it. There were many powerful nominations for this year's winner. We have some amazing staff. But one stood out to me. And one of the nominations for this recipient really stood out to me. And I want to read a piece of their nomination. This person is the reason I love working at the Y so much. She is the most kind and compassionate person I have ever met. She takes everyone on the aquatic staff under her wings, and she cares for all of us as if we were her own. I know and love Dawn McFadden, and if there is one person who shows the same care and love for the Y as Dawn did, it is this nominee. Not only does she support her team when it comes to work, but she is always ready and willing to listen to her staff when they just need some advice on life in general. I am proud to be a staff member under this nominee because she is truly the reason why I believe all of the values of the YMCA, believe in the values of the YMCA. There is so much more where this came from. One part of this process is we open it up to staff and we say, nominate someone. And this person just received countless of nominations similar to this. This year's nominee has worked at all 3 of our locations over close to 20 years, I believe, making her mark on the aquatics program at Camp at the Lake and at Park Street and here at Geyer. For the reasons listed, as well as countless others, I am truly proud to announce that the 2021 Dawn McFadden Leadership Award is given to Anna Smith. Anna, please come up. Do you want to say a few words?
I can. Oh, thank you. This is truly very humbling. I'm never for a loss for words, but I just might be. The Y has become my home. I've raised my daughter. Before I was even working here, we were part of all the programs, just like you were. That's why I remember you guys even before I worked here. It's a special place. This is a special community. I think the Y has always been a calling. It was my first job. I worked at the Bronx YMCA as a lifeguard very, very long time ago. I think I was making $4.25 an hour. And at the time, the Bronx Y, the pool was in the basement of the Jacoby Hospital. so I have some stories. Taught people how to swim, again, just like Anaya's story, from infants to adults. Adults were always my favorite because they were the most fun to teach. And so years later, you never know the impact you have on somebody's life. Went to college, I graduated, I have a bachelor's of business administration. I was working in New York City in my corporate little marketing job. And I was in Duane Reade, just shopping with a coworker at lunch. And a woman came out of another aisle and said, "I recognize your voice." And she's like, "I knew your voice from another aisle." And I'm looking at her, not knowing who she was. And she's like, "You taught me how to swim." She's like, "You taught me how to swim, and I scuba dive around the world." So, I went back, I just thought it was, wow, like a small world, and never really thought anything, but the why comes back. Then I moved to New Jersey. Didn't really know anybody in New Jersey. The why became where I socialized, where I grew up in the programs, and then was hired out of the pool. I was taking a parent-child swim class, Bubble Babies, and the instructor was actually the director. And she said, Genevieve was really, really buoyant in the water and she's like, "Oh, she's great in the water." I said, "Oh, maybe she'll be like me. I was a lifeguard a million years ago." And she said, "Why don't you work here? You can work a couple of hours a day." And it's turned into a life-changing career where I know where I belong. So thank you very, very much. And I thank you all my staff.
Thank you, Anna, for all that you have done. And now I would like to call up Jack Pitts, the chair of our nominating committee and vice?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay, almost. Jack?
That's right. I am the chair of the Nominating and Governance Committee for about, we'll say, 20 more minutes before I hand it over to my fellow board member, Mike Turgeon. So happy and honored to be here with you tonight. I have the pleasure of introducing our newest board members. One of the perks of being on the board and also chairing the Nominating and Governance Committee is you get to meet a lot of great people in the community. And, I was joking with one of the new board members that, man, I wish I knew her when I moved to Montclair. And she told me, you know what, it happens right on time. And I do believe in that. And that's been something that's been near and dear to me. Anna, my first job was at the Lansing YMCA. I was working for the controller, who happened to be my then girlfriend's mom, but that's a longer story. So I've been around the Y a long time, and it is something that I look forward to continuing with. My kids are here almost every day, and before school programs and after school programs, and it's been just really, really good for our family overall. So with that, I would like to introduce you all to Bob Davidson, a YMCA lifer and a resident of West Caldwell. Bob is the CEO of the Mental Health Association of Essex County. He has done magnificent things for the state of New Jersey and his community in several different ways, including sitting on the governor's task force for mental health, a grant reviewer for the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, and a councilman for the borough of Caldwell from 1995 to 2004. We look forward to utilizing all of Bob's expertise in mental health and also just in general, because he knows every nook and cranny of this YMCA and the surrounding YMCAs to get us to the top of our game. So with that, Bob, I want to recognize you if you might stand up. And our next and newest board member is Devon Salier. A Montclair resident for over 25 years, an active member, former trustee, and treasurer of Union Baptist Church, proud mom of 2 college students who were also YMCA babies and very active in our YMCA camps and also active in our community as well. Devon is currently the Director of Client Success at ADP, and we look forward to all that Devon will bring to the YMCA, including her expertise in strategy and human capital management, and we maybe even get a little bit of technology out of her as well. And she will be a welcome addition to our board, and congratulations, and I'd like you to stand as well, Devon. I would also like to acknowledge 2 board members that are rolling off for their terms. They're not here with us tonight, but we have plaques for them. Mutia Harsh, class of 2022, and Mike Townsend, class of 2023. These were also great board members, and we look forward to them staying involved with us in some way, in some fashion, but not on the board. And we appreciate all they've done for our YMCA. And lastly, I would just like to say a few words about Azumi. You know, I had here that she's not here, but she's here with us in spirit, but lo and behold, I'm looking right at her through the stream. You know, as Buddy mentioned, we endured the pandemic at a time where we were coming off our strongest year, record-breaking numbers, and I can remember when we were all sent home, and I'm thinking, I got a kid on one leg, and I'm like, well, how am I going to do this meeting? And there's Azumi saying, we're going to do it on Zoom, we're going to keep going, we're going to fight through this. And she continued to lead us with grace, wisdom, and persistence. And she's a key reason why we have come out of the pandemic on top, and I think stronger than we were before. And me personally, you know, I've not done much of the board thing in my life, but because of Azumi, I've learned what it takes to be a great board member and a great leader. Also, as a lawyer who is married to another lawyer, I now know what it takes to be a successful lawyer who's married to another successful lawyer who continues to give back to their community. So Azumi, I want to say thank you for not only your service to the YMCA, but also for me personally. You've been a great mentor and sponsor of me, and I look forward to that continuing as well. So the next thing I'd like to do is invite Victoria Herzberg, who was actually the chair prior to Azumi, to officially recognize our new officers.
Good evening, everybody. I'm pleased to be here, and sorry that Izumi can't have this honor, but I'm glad she's doing well and is watching. The annual meeting marks the beginning of a new term for our board directors and officers. So effective today, we install a new elected group of officers to the board. I'd like to ask our incoming officers to come up. Come on, guys. No. Officers. But you may want to stand in for because one of them had to leave unexpectedly, was called out, so. All right. As our new board chair, we have Marjorie Pierre Merritt. Marjorie is a longtime resident of Montclair who raised her 3 boys here. She is a corporate vice president, corporate secretary, and Chief Governance Counsel at the publishing firm Wiley. Next, we have our new board vice chair, Jack Pitts. Jack is a Montclair dad of 3 young children and is also a senior managing director and general counsel of Blackstone Alternate Access Management. Next, and who's not here, but unfortunately, oh no, he is here. Okay, there's Alberto. Bonilla is the father of 2 lovely daughters in middle and high school, and he is our new treasurer, but not exactly new because he has been reelected to the position. He's the Vice President of Finance at Millicent Pharmaceuticals. Next, I do want to tell you about our new corporate secretary, who is David Harrison, dad to 4 young daughters. David is one of the founders of Spiro Harrison, a law firm that handles complex litigation and disputes. Spiro Harrison recently consolidated with the beloved Montclair law firm of Ashenfelter, Tremulac, Bolia, McDonald, and Trevelyan. Okay, it is with great pleasure to introduce you to the new board officers and to officially hand over Izumi's gavel and keys to our new board chair and chief volunteer officer, Marjorie.
So Izumi, this will always be your gavel. I will just use it. The last speech of the day is always the most difficult, right? Because we have to keep it brief, but at the same time, ensure that you all know how appreciative we are that you were here today. I want to say thank you, buddy. I humbly accept the gavel, knowing that it will be impossible to fill the shoes of the outgoing chair, Izumi, who's not only been a tremendous leader, but a wonderful friend. We have known each other for 25 years plus. You will find that I stopped counting after 25, so you'll hear 25 years plus, quite a bit. And I actually owe the opportunity that I have to serve the Y to Izumi. I'd also like to thank my fellow board members for their expression of confidence in me. I hope I don't disappoint. As mentioned, I'm an attorney who's been practicing for over 25 years. I've touched a variety of areas in the law with focus on governance, which is essentially supporting board of directors in fulfilling their responsibilities. So when I joined this board, I said, let's get to work. I have 3 sons, Malcolm, Isaiah, who's here this evening, and Christian, and I have a husband, Wade. I have no fur babies. A few years ago, as my 3 sons neared adulthood, I was contemplating, how do I give back to a community that gave so much to me? How do I use the blessings that I've received from skill sets and share that with organizations that need it? How do I transition from having every moment of my life focused on what my sons are doing, where they are going, their education, their sports, and their future? And that is when Izumi asked me if I wanted to volunteer to be a member of the Y Board. I accepted the position with enthusiasm, as I remembered how much time I spent with the Y when my children were younger. I did mommy and me swim classes. You've heard it all today, right? Birthday celebrations, just spending a lot of time here. But it struck me as I wrote this, and also as I spoke to Isaiah earlier today, that it was so much more. And I think you heard that during the mission moment earlier today. The Y provides critical support to parents who need them. I was a working mom. I was a hard-working mom, going into the city every day, and you have 3 children, and just imagine having the peace of mind knowing that they are well cared for, and they are happy. That's what the Y gave to me. Every day when they were here, I knew that they were having fun. I remember Jason, the counselor, who my boys would spot wherever he was in Montclair, and they were always excited to see. Now my son Isaiah, who works with the Montclair Y, I think he's the new Jason because he seems to know every child in Montclair. All of that is to convey that the Y is a very, very special organization that provides critical support to so many. And as a member of the board for the past 3 years, where I served, I think I served on the executive committee, the audit and risk committee, the executive compensation committee, the DEI committee. Did I leave any off? And the governance committee. And I loved every single minute of it. But I can attest to the fact that all of the Y's programming and services that they provide to you, the community, is designed with you in mind. So I stand here feeling very, very blessed to have the opportunity to support you in any way that I can. So I thank you. I thank you for the opportunity to partner with a pretty awesome and dedicated and talented board. I thank Buddy, team, and the Montclair staff because I look forward to working with you and continuing to lift up my time's up. As I continue, so that we can continue to uplift the progress of the Y, which means by default, a better experience and connection with you, the community. Thank you again for all your time, your efforts, and your wisdom, Azumi, Mutia, and Mike. I hope, in addition to Azumi, Mutia and Mike are watching as well. Welcome, Devon and Bob, to an impressive group of volunteers. And fellow board members, Buddy and team, I say let's do this. And I look forward to an impactful year and future for the Y. Thanks, Isaiah, for being such an inspiration to me always and for being here this evening. And to the Montclair Y community, we appreciate you. We appreciate your support. We appreciate your dedication. And I hope to see each and every one of you again throughout the year at the Y. Thank you.
Marjorie Grape's first meeting. Thank you everyone for being here. Bob and Devon, welcome so much. We're glad you're here. Tons of food left. Please help yourself, take some home if you want, and thank you all for being here. That concludes our meeting. Thank you. Thank you.